I'm Jo Dano. I'm one of the admins moderators for the Long COVID Support Facebook group. I'm also trustee for Long COVID Support, and I think we've got a couple of other trustees maybe on the call as well. We set up 4 years ago as a support group, and then 2 years ago we registered as a charity in England and Wales, and we're all volunteers. We don't have any paid staff whatsoever, and we work night and day, and everybody has long COVID. So anyway, Bella is now laughing so much that we're hoping that Bella's going to get herself with it so that she can tell us all about her challenge. Bella, over to you.
I have basically started this challenge called 65-65, and we're basically asking you to do something 65 times, because there are 65 million people worldwide with long COVID, at least. Try to make the challenge as accessible as possible. So basically it's anything to do, anything that's 65 related. So we have somebody who is going to be drawing 65 minutes a day, and she's going to end up creating this amazing piece of art. We have somebody who is going to be reading 65 chapters, somebody doing 65 seconds in a cold like ice pool thing. So lots of options, lots of kind of ways to tailor it to you, and also the kind of time frame on it is there's a long time to be able to do it. We started yesterday. You can start your challenge anytime between the 1st and the 31st of May. So from then, so say you started on the 17th, you then have 65 days to complete that challenge. So lots of time. I'm going to be kind of doing it 10 days within that 65 days. Obviously, the kind of blessing of it being such a long time is that if anything does happen, if you've got a flare up, or if, you know, family situations, then there's a lot of leeway and there's a lot of options for you to go either way. It's really accessible and really kind of easy to do and kind of possible for everyone. And even if it isn't possible for you, then we have lots of family and friends getting involved, or literally just sharing the Instagram, sharing everyone's stories. We've got a really good group of people who are being amazing and sharing what's happened to them in their stories. So that's the way on Instagram now. They're like different profiles, so you can kind of see what they're all doing, why they're doing it. And so there's a lot of kind of incentive to join or donate or whatever is possible. Even sharing, like I said, that would be amazing.
That's fantastic, Bella. And I mean, it really is interesting, because I know when we first spoke, it was all about, we were just about to reach 65,000 in the group as well. So it was kind of, it really tied in nicely with the 65 million. And I think, you know, that's really important to us because we are global. And I think we've just recently, I think it was it today or yesterday that Long COVID Support Australia got involved? Which is fantastic, you know, raising awareness. And they were really good during the Long COVID Awareness Month, that they actually they managed to get buildings lit up in Australia. So I think, you know, this the way that we look at this, and obviously the month of May is really important, and then it's 65 days on from that. But actually, as a charity, we're going to take it through the summer, because loads of people off on holiday, children might want to get involved, families might want to get involved. You can bake cakes, you can I don't know, you could do dips in the pool if you're going on a holiday. Even if you have got long COVID symptoms, maybe you could just do something, you know, 65 seconds under a cold shower. So I think there's so much potential of what this can do, and potentially it might go on longer. We don't know until we get, but I think the momentum you've started is fantastic. I think what we need to do is, in the group, we'll probably do a little bit of a gallery of who's doing what so far, because people aren't seeing it on Instagram. So maybe we can bring it back into the support group. I think that would be great. And as Bella said, it's for awareness as much as it is raising funds. The way that we work, as I said earlier, we're volunteers, but we have got the peer support group, and we've got Benita's sessions on a Wednesday where she does the live chats, the fireside chats, and she wants to bring in more professionals and specialists for that. We've got the choir, we've got the check-in and chats, we've got Alan, who's one of our members, doing a men's check-in and chat tomorrow. So the more we can bring into the group and maybe sponsor, the better. And then on the research side of it, we also, last year or the year before, we actually gave some money that we've raised to research, and that went towards some microclot studies in the UK. So there's lots of different things we want to be able to do, and obviously the benefit of everybody being involved from our community is really critical to us, because we want to make this community based as far as what we do.
Yeah, and I personally believe that the kind of best way that we're going to get any kind of push or any kind of movement really is everyone coming together and everyone uniting. So the more people can get involved, like I said, even just sharing, that is then going to have such an impact. Even if, like, you know, every person just liked a post, the kind of engagement that would then lead to would be amazing. And kind of, like I said, you know, bringing all the different groups together and all that is then going to have such an amazing impact. So yeah, that'll be fab. And we've thought, haven't we, about doing like a couple of groups for 65 and getting everyone together and doing some kind of joining things and getting the kind of experts involved and see if we can do stuff like that to raise some traction there as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we've sent this out to all of our, you know, our trustees and advisors as well, and we've had a couple of advisors coming back saying they're going to find a half marathon to do or something, because they're the healthy ones. We actually need to get healthy people to do this. I mean, your dad's doing his push-ups, which is absolutely fantastic, and people that have got long COVID doing a little bit of drawing or writing a poem. You know, one of our other members is thinking about doing some illustrations, and if she can do, you know, 65 illustrations, she'd be happy. So, you know, and then it's what we do with, if people are producing material, creative things, what we then do with it. We might potentially publish something. So, because then we can take it further. Gareth's asking a really good question, obviously, that you might want to say, although Gareth obviously knows, but, oh, you have to turn around completely now. So, yeah, so do you want to talk about the merch a bit, Gareth?
Yeah.
Not Gareth, Bella, sorry.
Yeah, so merch is available. We're available now. This is a prototype, so it's not what you're going to get. But we have merch currently. We've got t-shirts, stickers, tote bags, and then potentially more as well. We're looking at mugs and notebooks as well, aren't we? So there's the 65 logo on that, and then also the long COVID awareness ribbon. So that'll be amazing. That's all out now, so I can put the links to that in. And yeah, it's available to get now, which is so exciting. It's brilliant.
Yeah, this weekend, Gareth will correct me if I'm wrong. It's a free post weekend with our shop as well. So you know, and then how it works is the manufacturers, they print on demand. So as soon as you put your order in, then they'll process it. And they normally, I've had things like this delivered, and they normally deliver it within 3 or 4 days. So it's pretty quick. Obviously, they only work during the week. So if you order it over the weekend, it's not going to arrive on Monday morning. It will arrive Wednesday, Thursday, and it's a bank holiday, so it's probably an extended time. So but yeah, there's going to be, I think we're trying to set up a tea towel, and we're thinking about an apron, because we think maybe people will get in the kitchen and bake some cakes or biscuits or something. And obviously bank holiday is the perfect time for people to be talking about what they're going to do as well, because hopefully there'll be a few gatherings. Again, we're very aware people have got long COVID, so we're not expecting people to start running marathons. It literally is everything. Do you want to speak a little bit about Safe Inside and Make Some Noise?
Yeah, definitely. So we have teamed up with Safe Inside, which is basically an initiative literally to find places that are quite literally safe inside. So Nick has started this initiative, like I said, and basically it's about ringing up your local dentists, opticians, like hairdressers, all those sort of services. And he's got a script, so it's really easy. And basically just asking them things like, you know, do they ventilate? Do they wear masks still? You know, and kind of finding out if it is somewhere that is, like I said, safe for you to go. And hopefully we're going to end up with an amazing kind of list of places that are safe inside and people can go without worrying about what is going to happen, or maybe they're not taking the kind of safety precautions that people would like. So that is going to be available. It's all done through call, because I think we're very aware of, like email is so easy to ignore. They can, like, you know, it's just, you just don't see it. Whereas if someone's actively talking to you, that is when they're going to see the difference. And I think actually we're amazed by the response and how people are actually well aware and they're just not advertising it. So I think I kind of went into it thinking they're not, like, it's going to be quite resistant, and it's really not. They're very open to it still. Lots of places that are very happy to do it. I think we've seen people kind of getting like first appointments of the day, you know, like they're leaving all the windows open, all things like that you kind of wouldn't think to ask, and they're also not thinking to kind of publicise it and share it, but they're very happy to do that. And so it's an amazing initiative, and I think will be so kind of just people will be grateful to have it, because it's just it's a comfort, isn't it, knowing that actually it takes the kind of worry away. And so Nick has done an amazing job starting it, and it's all on, he's got a website and stuff, and the link is again in my bio on Instagram, and it's on Twitter as well. So yeah, if people, they can do it for their 65 challenge, so 65-second phone call, or maybe a group of people, 65 people who all made one phone call, things like that. Or if you just want to do it, just ring up. And then basically once you have got the answer, you either DM Nick at Safe Inside, or there's a form on the website and you just fill it out with the kind of outcome, whether it was positive or negative. And if it was positive and they are going to put measures into place, or they already are doing, then it will go onto the website, and yeah, there will literally be a list of places that are safe inside for people to go.
Do think there's potential that we should be extending it further.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation that we could have with Nick as far as hospitals and that type of thing. And it may well be that potentially, I don't know, maybe we should be thinking about producing a bit of merchandise as well to go with it. Of like, are you, you know, it's kind of like, or even a sticker. So maybe we need to think about some stickers that say you've passed the Safe Inside, whatever criteria.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? For even for just like
Which
the businesses to have to, that when people walk in, or even things like if you put it on the window and
yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
that, so people can
A
see.
Safe Inside sticker. Yeah, I don't know whether Nick's thinking about that, so we can have a conversation.
Yeah,
So yeah, so is there anything else you want to add from there? So obviously you're very active on Instagram. We're going to be putting up a post in the next couple of days, another one with some of the creative of the actual not the creative, the actual people that are taking part at the moment. That's where my long COVID is kicking in now. And so that you can see the types of things that people are doing. But whatever you can do with your family, with your friends, if there's, you know, if there's a healthy person in the house, then get them to do something. Even if it's, you know, shaking a tin somewhere and getting a few pennies. The other thing that you can do is either through Bella's. So Bella's got a GoFundMe going for her walk. I'm not sure what the number is now at the moment. There's also obviously the long 600 now. Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's obviously the direct to us on our Just Giving, but there's also, we've got PayPal and that type of thing. And often if you don't want to put in the minimum charge for GoFundMe or Just Giving, I don't know whether it's still got minimum charge, then you can just put PayPal. So, and we're thinking 65p, you know, and £6.50, £65. Somebody did actually do £65 on your GoFundMe. So obviously when we start getting into £650 and 6,500, then, you know, then be contacting me. Absolutely. So, but we are, you know, we are determined as a team with 65 for 65 and Bella, and long COVID support to push this out to as many places as possible and to get publicity. So that's really, really important to us. We want to make it big, and it may well be something that happens every year around. It may well be around Long COVID Awareness Month or whatever. So have a think. If anybody's got any great ideas, then come to Bella.
I mean, even
Bella's
things like I've gone on the radio before, and so if you've done stuff like that, if you kind of like have contact with journalists and things like, just like sending them the profile or like the pinned post on Instagram, because stuff like that is amazing. I always say, like, sharing it is the most important thing, because you don't know who you're sharing it to. Even if like there's only one person, they might be able to take part, and they might be able to then share it on and on and on, and it kind of creates that chain. Even if you yourself aren't taking part, then just sharing is gonna have such an amazing impact and is gonna help beyond measure, because like I said, you don't know who is at the other end of that and who is going to see that, and then they are going to kind of continue it on, and so it goes on. And so sharing is definitely the most amazing thing that you can do, obviously alongside taking part and donating and everything. But ultimately, if you did one thing from this, and if you take one thing from this, it is please to share. The Instagram, the Facebook on here, Twitter, it's kind of everywhere. We've got TikTok. It's not very active, but we have a TikTok, so you can do it on there as well. So yeah, and I have a lot of things that I can kind of do if you do decide to take part. I've got templates available. I'm doing profiles for everyone every day. I am kind of, everyone's posting about what they're doing. That's amazing as well. If you are taking part, if you can keep tagging me and collaborating with me on everything, because at the end of every week I'm gonna collate that, and then we're gonna collab with Long COVID and kind of keep a bit of a running diary of everyone that's taking part. So tagging me is really, really important. Using the hashtag is amazing. Everything like that is just going to do so much and help us all so much. And it is everyone that this is going to be helping, even people that have like ME, CFS. It's all the same. It's all going to go to research. It's all kind of, it's the same story. And so whilst it is obviously about kind of the individual and what they are doing and what you can do in your own challenge, the impact of that is going to help every single person, and potentially all 65 million people that have long COVID and more, because it is probably a lot more. And I hope it doesn't increase, because I have to change the branding every year, which will be a nightmare.
No, it
probably is. Yeah, it probably is, and that is very representative of long COVID. And so
yeah, and I think to that point, actually, Bella, you made a really good point. We're trying to also stop more people getting long COVID. So there's probably something we need to think about around that. I think that's really, really important to go, I don't know, whether it's a case of, providing 65 masks to your local hospital, or 65 masks to your local surgery or whatever, and just saying, I'm doing this, and we stick a sticker on it, and then it goes in and saying, we'd like to donate this, or whatever it might be. So it might be donations elsewhere. It doesn't have to be donations in. It can be out. So which we haven't really thought about, but that's really, really important that potentially we could do that.
Definitely. And that is then going to kind of increase awareness again, because they're going to think, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
How can we help them? And it's just going to kind of continue like that. So yeah, I think that's probably the main thing.
And Charlotte's made a really good point about feeding back, that she accidentally came across this while she was scrolling, and maybe we need to put it into some of the other long COVID Facebook groups.
Yeah, definitely.
So there are a couple that we could do, but because we're posting it onto our public site as well, and you'll then get a lot of people that search on our site to see what information, and then they repost. But maybe what we could do is then reach out to them and say, could you do a proper post in your group? Again, it's that awareness. We're not saying you have to donate to long COVID support if you're another charity. It's more a case of build the awareness.
Definitely, because ultimately, like I said, the more people that are together, the more that we unite as one force, that is where change is going to come, and that is where an impact will be made. And everybody being separate and kind of splitting off and it being kind of dotted around everywhere, that isn't going to do anything, because it's ultimately everyone's separate and it isn't going to do it. There's not going to be kind of ultimate change. Whereas if everyone unites and comes together, that is when something will happen.
Definitely, definitely, and that is what it's all about. It's about creating that awareness, and we've got it on LinkedIn as well. So I mean, we need to bring it into the business arena as well. So I mean, if anybody knows any businesses, if anybody works in places and they can get a sticker up there, or they can get a Safe Inside sticker, or they can put a bucket somewhere that people can put money into. I mean, anything that contact your local cinemas, do whatever, and see whether there's anything, libraries, anything that can be done locally. I think this is the way that we look at it. It's been, Bella, you're in the community, you're in the Long Covey community, you've come up with this amazing initiative, so it's built by the community. And that's really, really important to Long Covey support, because we're all about community. So
and also I kind of think that the way that we are going to get any kind of help or any change, and it's kind of quite sad, but it's because of the impact that it's going to have on the economy. And I saw a post on Twitter and it was saying there's going to be, like 1.5 billion hours that are lost because of people with long COVID, and then it's going to cost however many £billion in dollars. Ultimately, that's the only way that governments are actually going to listen, actually going to do anything, because that's an actual tangible impact. And they're going to see that, and then they're going to want to help. So if there are businesses that want to get involved, amazing. And sharing it, and sharing how many people have long COVID, because it's about the impact of that. And if people see, oh yeah, these people aren't, working, and they're not producing or providing or whatever it is that their kind of aim is, that is when they're going to think, how can we get people back into work? And ultimately, none of us actually care about that, really. None of us are wanting that, but that is how we're going to kind of get into it, because that is where the kind of issue is going to be. And so businesses and all that is going to be amazing, and kind of getting into it like that.
Absolutely. I mean, the economy is a really important part about, to all of us. People, nobody wants to be off work. Everyone wants to be back at work. So how can it's getting that message out there, and making sure people realise that we're not just
not sick note
as
culture.
We had last week, we're not sick note culture, precisely. So yeah, and I think that the biggest thing we can do is make sure that whatever we produce, we'll produce more kind of 65. In fact, it's really weird, because Charlotte's saying exactly how I'm saying it, is we're going to produce some more 65 for 65 materials that people can then put on other things. And I think that's going to be really, really important. And I think, but so Charlotte's saying, Bella, do you think it's a possibility to fabricate a sort of template social media caption that can encapsulate everything you have said tonight, so I can post this alongside the links we are sharing?
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah.
If you follow, I don't know if you are following me, Charlotte, but if you follow me on Instagram at 6565, there's templates there already that are kind of like for images, so they can go on, and then I can 100% give you some captions. That's definitely possible. I've got all the kind of Canva stuff at my side, so anything that you want, there's loads of different options of things that you can kind of turn it into. So kind of anything is possible in that end, really. Anything that you want to be made, I suppose, can. So
yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll post it into the group. So everything that goes, what we'll do is anything that Bella's creating. She's got 65 for 65 on Twitter, as she said, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Can't think of it. Well, there's Threads, and there's Blue Sky. So we'll just keep on repeating it, but I think templates are going to be quite important. But you have set it up so you can share the templates, so that's great. So yeah, we'll do another. Maybe what we'll do tomorrow is, Bella, maybe if you've got the energy to do a post in the Facebook group with all of these updates, and anything and links, that'd be great. And then I can just, you can just put admin approved at the top, and then it will go through anyway. So I think that'd be really, really good. And the link to the shop, you can put a link to the shop as well.
Yeah, go buy all the merch.
And there will be one other thing, which is, we're just finishing off the design at the moment. I haven't got it here. We've partnered, Long Covey Sport partnered with a company called Notch, and I don't know whether you've seen it, but they produce these bracelets and you have little charms on them. They're little circular things, and we've got a few for long COVID and long COVID support and long COVID awareness, and we're just about to create, well, just finishing off the 65 for 65 one, so that then if you take part or whatever, you can purchase it, but we're thinking about how that can be used as well, as far as, you know, promoting the cause, and that can continue. Hopefully it won't become 75 for 75, but we'll have to work that one out. But yeah, so there'll be other things, and if anybody thinks of anything else they'd like, then do message Bella or myself, and then we can hopefully we can create it. There is a limit, obviously, what we can do, but hopefully we can do it. But if there's anything that anybody's thought of that we haven't thought of yet, you know, I don't know, write to 65 very important people in your area to tell them about long COVID, whether that's the counsellors or whether that's hospitals or the surgeries. I don't know, there's lots, it's endless.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit? It can literally be anything you want, anything at all. 65, perfect. Tag me in it, we're away.
Brilliant. Right, well, I